Welcome to the final day of our very special sculpting week. So, today we're going to be revealing the final character. I was taking a look at the comments. I didn't see a lot of comments saying that you guys want me to redo the aquatic man. So, I'm just going to ignore him for now, even though I thought it was coming pretty nicely. But that's fine. We'll roll the dice. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get him again. So, let's see. Now, before we jump there, there we go. Let me show you if let me check, because I haven't actually checked, if we have some more submissions. Let's see if more of you guys are actually doing the exercises. Yeah, we do have more submissions, so let's take a look here. Oh, it's Simon. Simon, you've been a very diligent student. So here's your Frankenstein, very nice. Here's the mummy that we already saw, and the bat. So cool. It means that at least one of you is doing the homework. Hopefully you guys are willing to try this whole thing out. This is not a portfolio submission, by the way. We will have more portfolio submissions next week. Okay, so on Monday we will start with another round of recollection. So I'm gonna open the link again. You guys are gonna be able to submit your files. It can be any sort of like portfolio piece. It could be an image, the Maya scene, like whatever you want me to take a look at, and we'll have the portfolio review on that weekend. Okay. Oh my god. I think I'm getting a cold or something. Hopefully it's not COVID. I've been vaccinated, so hopefully that's not gonna affect me as much. But yeah, so today we're gonna roll another dice. So let me open series real quick, just to have a little bit of extra time here. Make sure that we're starting with our usual 30 minutes. So yeah, as I was mentioning, on Monday we will open submissions, and then on the first weekend of November we will have our reviews. So we'll have same deal, like 2-part review, depending on how many submissions we get. You can submit anything, and if you want a more hands-on approach, make sure to submit your Maya files so that I can actually go in there, or your Civil files, and sculpt or modify certain things so that you can see what things I would do differently. So let me connect my Wacom tablet here. We still don't know which character is going to be the one for today. Let's move this thing up because my tablet's right in front of me. And yeah, let's go here and say roll a d8. And we get the number 5, which I think we've already done. No, we haven't done number 5, so that's the Invisible Man. Okay. So, well, that's it. We got the Invisible Man. So, I think for this one, I'm actually going to be going over a technique that I learned a couple of years ago to do like bandages, because I think it's going to look very cool with bandages. And now that we have the dynamic system on, we're going to be able to work very nicely with that thing. So, the cool thing about this is the fact that there's no anatomy, it's just the silhouette. So as long as I match like the general silhouette, I think we should be fine. I'm gonna use my inflate brush here to inflate the head. Let's smooth it out, inflate, Dynamesh, smooth. And I just wanna create like a basic sort of like silhouette. So there we go. I'm not sure, have we done a female character on this series? I don't think so, right? Have we? I don't remember. Because I was going to tell you that when we do female characters, one of the things that we need to be very careful about is how the cloth drapes around the female form. Not only the female form, it affects to the male form as well. But usually, especially like on the chest area where you have the bust, a lot of people make the mistakes of making the cloth like way too skin tight, and it looks like they're wearing like a spandex suit, like a latex suit, like super close to the skin, and that's not how it works. Like in this case, like if I take a look at this guy, you can see that from the bridge of the nose towards the cheeks, it's not like skin tight, like going with the form. It's actually gonna be like a sort of ramp. So here I'm just gonna go with my clay buildup, and I'm gonna do here like this. So honestly, I don't know much about like the lore of the Invisible Man. I just know he's invisible. I remember seeing a movie as a kid in the 90s, and there was this. It was the Invisible Man, like a scary movie kind of thing. And the thing I remember most about that particular movie is there was this scene. Some of you guys probably saw it, where the Invisible Man is like trying to kill and chasing everyone on the team. Like there were like a scientist team trying to like find invisibility or something. He goes crazy, and he tries to kill everyone. You know, typical horror movie stuff. And the interesting thing about that is that there was a scene where he was on an elevator. And they were like cutting the elevator, and everything was exploding and on flames, and he was going through like phases, like going from invisibility all the way to visibility. So do you see how all the veins are reconstructed, and then the bones, and then the muscles? I was very small. I was like a little kid, and it traumatized me. I remember having nightmares about that thing. It was really, really intense. But yeah, like if you see them now, yeah, the effects were not that good compared to what we can do today. But yeah, it was quite the experience for me. So there we go. We have a general shape of the face, and this is just gonna be the base, right? It's gonna be hidden. I'm probably gonna paint it black or something just to hide it with shadows and stuff. But I'm gonna show you a technique. This is a little bit of an advanced technique using polygroups and some interesting things here. It's not difficult, but it is definitely tricky. So let me show you. The first thing I need to do is I need to mask out all the parts that I wanna create this sort of like bandages from. So I'm gonna mask, let's say, all of this area right here. There we go. Then I am gonna go to Subtool, and I'm gonna hit Extract in a very similar way to how we did it with bandages for the mummy. So no thickness, so that we get like a thin layer. There we go. And we're gonna go here. We don't need this guy right now, so I'm just gonna turn it off. And we're definitely gonna Dynamesh, or not Dynamesh, sorry, a Series Mesh. So I'm gonna go Series Mesher and Series Mesh the whole thing. And again, the only reason why we're Series Meshing is to try and keep things a little bit like cleaner. Now, you know, if you've ever been injured, when you bandage yourself, there's supposed to be like a specific way to do it. You have to bandage yourself, like let's say I have something here. I'm gonna bandage myself from the wrist all the way up so that the pressure of the bandages actually goes through the arm and pushes or helps the blood flow nicely back into the center of our body. That's one of the things I was taught when I was in med school. I was in med school for a year, and then I I dropped to become a 3D artist. So yeah, so in reality, that would be the way to do it. However, in 3D, doing bandages is really difficult. Like making sure things like actually wrap around and then make sense, it's really difficult. So we tend to fake things quite a bit. So I'm gonna turn on my polyframe here, and there's this very nice brush here called the Slice Curve. Where is it? Slice curve. This one right here. And the way this works is whatever is on the other side of the gradient is going to be a new polygroup. And not only that, but as you can see, we're going to get a very nice like line, like triangulated line all across the surface so that the poly loop works a little bit better. It's one of the techniques that we use for a hard surface as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start cutting, as you can see here, a couple of bandages. Now, I want to create like a different one, like going in a different direction. So I'm going to Control Shift, and let's do something like this, for instance. And as you can see, this kind of creates like the effect or the the sort of look that this thing is creating a nice bandage right here. So this is where things are gonna get a little bit complicated. So I'm gonna go to the top view, and let's go here. As you can see, this is completely asymmetrical, which is definitely important to have a clean like a clean look. So we're gonna have like those ones looking like that over there, and then let's go here. Let's do like one over there. And then there's like one main like bandage going over here. Let's grab this guy, and we're gonna do one there, and then this guy, and let's do one over here, and then this guy. See how I'm kind of like crisscrossing things? Crisscross applesauce. I think that's one thing some people say. Let's go here like that, so that we can have like several polygroups like going around. Let's go like this. There we go. And then like this, and then let's grab this guy right here, like this guy, and create like another cut. Important to be like hiding and unhiding things, because otherwise it becomes like really difficult to like properly create like the bandage lines that we might want. So yeah, there we go. So we're gonna be doing, of course, a little bit of a magic here to make sure that things look a little bit nicer. Let's do one here on the chin, for instance, like here, and then the chin itself. The chin itself, I kind of want to cut it into two. There we go. So now, as you can see, we have this sort of like bandages all around, right? And we need to find a way to do something interesting here, right? To kind of like split them together. So what we're gonna do is something called panel loops. So I'm gonna go into edge loop, and there's this thing called a panel loop. And what panel loops do is they will create a new shell on top of this thing with a thickness of 0.001, and it will follow other groups. If I hit this double sided, you're gonna have like two sides to the whole thing. So if I hit here panel loops, you're gonna see that now we have one specific like island for each specific bandage, which is looking not bad. Now I'm definitely gonna give it a little bit more thickness. So let's say like 0.1, let's say panel loops. Now that's way too much. So let's say, like 0.05 panel loops. A little bit better. I think it's a little bit too much still. So let's do 0.025. Much better. That's good. So the cool thing about this is that this thing is actually a whole like island of faces. Right now you can see that, well, it's going to be a little bit difficult to see, right? But what I can do is I can press Control Shift and then go all the way to polygroups over here and say, not polygroups, sorry, visibility. And if I say grow all, it's going to select all of the faces that are like pretty much welded together. The shortcut is Control Shift A. So if I press Control Shift A on one element, or Control Shift A there, it's gonna go to the whole thing. So what I want to do here now is I'm gonna go into polygroups, and I'm gonna say auto groups, and that will create each individual like base of a cloth into a single polygroup. So now all of them have the same island. Instead of having like the outer shell and the inner shell, both of them have the same islands. This is becoming more like a tutorial rather than than a spit sculpt, right? But hopefully you guys like it. Let me just check the audio over here, make sure that, yeah, okay, everything's fine. So yeah, this is becoming like a tutorial, but that's fine. I'm having fun, so hopefully you guys are too. Now it's time that we start like modifying this, guys, and we're gonna be using our move brush. Like our move brush, yeah, our move brush, just our traditional move brush. Now we could use a little bit of dynamics, but it's gonna be a little bit too much because it's way too much geometry. We could try like making it thinner, or like remeshing it, but then we will have like very weird blocks. So I'm gonna keep it like this, and I'm gonna use the move topological. And move topological is very cool because, as you can see, it will only move, let's get rid of symmetry, it would only move whatever section we're actually like holding right now. So we're gonna be able to like kind of like tuck this like bandage in and create this little bit of overlap between the elements so that it looks like things are actually like going inside and outside of one another. So for instance, this one, let's move it like across there. Actually, no, it wouldn't make that much sense to have that, so something like that, like that. And what I'm mainly looking at is again, I want to create this sort of like overlap where it looks like things are going underneath one another. I want to leave a little bit of like holes here and there because I know this is going to be the Invisible Man, so we're going to see through it. We're actually not going to use the other base mesh anymore, so we can have like small holes here and there that eventually with the shadows and stuff are going to make it look like he's actually like there's nothing beneath this thing, right? So it really doesn't matter if things are not, whoa, if things are not perfect here. There we go. So let's move this thing in like the chin. Like this part of the chin. And again, having those like holes in between the elements are really gonna sell this effect where the Invisible Man is just, well, you know, invisible, right? So look at that, not bad, right? Not bad. Now, I know I mentioned that I was gonna try to give the characters like my own spin, but to be honest, I've never seen the Invisible Man, so I don't know if the movie's like super specific on certain things. So I'm just gonna kind of copy the reference, which has this very nice effect. So for instance, this one that's already out, I'm gonna keep it like out, and let's add a little bit of variation there. So this one is made, it's like the end of the bandages, and we just have this thing like pushing like this. And we're 10 minutes in, so we're in a good position. Let's push this. Let's push this in. Now, technically, you could print this out. I mean, I think it's a little bit thin for 3D printing, but you could try, and it would be interesting. Because remember, I think, oh, by the way, yeah, tomorrow, remember tomorrow, you guys are going to vote. I really need you to vote. I know some of you are like, I don't like commenting. I like to be just a lurker and just watch the video. More than 200 people watch the videos and only like 5 or 6 comments. So don't be shy, guys. I love you all. So we appreciate every single comment. So tomorrow, I need you guys to comment. Well, not tomorrow, actually today. On this video, I need you guys to comment which one was your favorite throughout the week. And whoever gets the most votes, I am going to be taking him further during the weekend. We're going to do a little bit more sculpting, maybe like a retopology, like a quick retopology, maybe some substance painter textures, if that's something you guys might want to see. Let me know. Let me know what things you want me to do with the one that gets picked, and we'll do it. And I'm thinking about 3D printing one of them to see how it looks. So yeah, just pick the one that you like the most. It's completely free. I can't promise. Normally, I used to live stream on Twitch like at the beginning of this year before our baby was born, and I would 3D print certain things and give them away. But most of our audience was from here, from my hometown. So it was most of my students and stuff. So they would get like small 3D miniatures, 3D print miniatures. I don't think I can ship this because I know you guys are from other parts in the world. But maybe I can share the STL with pre-supported and everything. So if you guys have a 3D printer, you can print it out yourself. So there we go. I think this is a very nice position for the Invisible Man. I really like how this thing is looking. So I'm gonna Control D a couple of times. I'm gonna go into clay buildup, and I'm gonna use. I'm actually gonna use this square brush, but I'm gonna definitely go into brush, and make sure backface masking is turned on. If you don't have it, I have it here because of my interface. But in here, brush, auto masking, and it's called backface masking. Super important because you don't want to like really like push the surface here and then be dragging things from the inside. So that's why backface masking is for. And I'm just gonna add a couple of like wrinkles on specific parts of the character, just pretty much to add texture, right? To add variation, because as you can see, I mean the polygroups look very nice, but they're way too perfect. So by adding this sort of like details in certain areas, I think we're gonna be able to really push certain silhouettes. There we go. See that? So it's super simple, just quick wrinkles here and there, and that should be it. Now we could try using a little bit of like dynamics and gravity, but I think it's just way too much geometry. And since it's such a complex shape, this is one of the things where I would probably go like traditional, like this, like just sculpt this out so that it makes a little bit more sense. So I'm gonna go where it kind of goes in, and I'm gonna add like the lines indicating that this thing goes in, always following like the shape or the form of the thing. There we go. Some people, when I've taught this technique to some of my students, they would ask me, hey, what about Dynamesh? Can we do Dynamesh? Yes, you can. However, just keep in mind that Dynamesh sometimes will combine everything. You need to select the option where it says polygroups in Dynamesh, so that when you Dynamesh, you don't combine all of the things back into the original mesh. So you just be careful about that. But yeah, you can definitely Dynamesh this thing and add like breaks in the silhouette. Now I already did that like not super nicely because we were in a hurry with the mummy, right? But this guy seems to be a little bit cleaner, so these are like cleaner bandages that he just put on. So that's why I'm not going for like this super intense like effects. I'm going for just like some sort of soft elements here, and we're pretty much gonna let the whole like texture and shapes, like the play of shapes, we're gonna let the play of shapes talk for us. Yeah, there we go. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this Halloween week? Is this something that you guys liked? This is the first time we do something like this. To be honest, this is the first time that I've been streaming so long. I think we're almost at like 3 or 4 months of continuous like content. I remember back in like June, we were doing like maybe 2 or 3 videos a week, and then I think starting July we started doing like every single day, and we haven't stopped. Well, we stopped during the week that I was in the hospital, right? But we're back, and we're better than ever. So it's cool. So how are we doing? Okay, 18 minutes. So that means we have like 14 minutes left. So we have a good amount of time. I think this is not a super complicated character. I definitely need to add the glasses. So I'm gonna do a little bit of C modeler for the glasses. Let's see how that goes. I'm trying to keep everything in ZBrush, but to be honest, I would definitely do the glasses in Maya. Should we do Maya? We haven't done Maya in the whole week. Should we do Maya? I don't know. Now let's keep it in ZBrush, because I actually want to practice some C-modeler. I feel very confident like poly modeling in Maya because I've been doing that for so long, and I haven't done that as much inside of ZBrush, so I think it's got a good practice. And this is the main purpose of these videos, right? Not only to entertain you, and we've talked about this yesterday. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, we give some very nice tips about like experience in the industry and stuff. So check it out. There's you might find something interesting that works for you as well, some inspiration as well. So there we go. Not bad, right? Not bad. So yeah, as you can see in the photo, he has this like sort of like glasses. So let's poly model those glasses. I'm gonna switch to my mouse because poly modeling is definitely easier with mouse. So I'm gonna go into, I'm gonna go into my Polymesh 3D, and down here I'm gonna initialize as a key cube with only one side. There we go. So you can see we have that right there, and there we go. So now I am gonna make this a Polymesh 3D. And this is what we're going to be working with. I'm actually going to be working directly on top of my character. So I'm going to hit Subtool, Append, and append the Polymesh 3D. The little cube right there. Oh, let's grab this guy. There we go. That way I know that eventually we're gonna have like everything working nicely. So let's move this to the side. And the first thing I want to do is create this sort of like glass shape with good topology. So I'm gonna go Q mesh, or actually I'm gonna go, let's turn on line. Let's move this forward. And I'm gonna select, I'm gonna use selection, select lasso. And I'm gonna, I wanna select like the borders. Oh, that's fine, let's Q mesh. So I'm gonna say BC M, which is the BC, the modeler. And then I'm gonna Q mesh this thing. We definitely need to turn, and I'm gonna turn local symmetry. There we go. So we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna do that. And that. And then we're gonna do that. And that. There we go. So we get this shape. Remember, with this guy, you can actually turn on dynamics of the vision and see how things are gonna be looking. So not bad. I'm actually gonna just scale this down. There we go. Let's turn this off. You can press a D. I'm gonna say just so D and Shift D to go in and out of dynamics of the vision. And now I'm gonna go into loops, and I'm gonna say polygroup, polyloop, so that we polyloop the whole thing right there. There we go. And then I'm gonna go Q mesh, and I'm gonna Q mesh polygroup all, so that we poly mesh the whole thing right there. And while we're doing this, I'm gonna press Alt to change the colors of the polygroup, so that we can get a different polygroup there. And then we're gonna polymesh or polygroup this thing out. And the reason I want to do this is to create like this sort of like frame for the whole thing. Now this does look a little bit sharp on the corners. I mean, it's not bad, right? It looks interesting, so let's keep it just for the sake of time. And I'm gonna use my insert. I'm gonna go again into borders, and I'm gonna say insert, and we're gonna insert some support edges, like right about there. And on the other side, oh, it's a little bit difficult too. There we go, right about there. There we go. So what that's gonna do is when we press D, it's gonna hold the edge a little bit nicer, as you can see there. Now I definitely want to bevel some of these edge loops, so I'm gonna go into bevel, and I'm gonna say polyloop. No, not polyloop, sorry. It's the edge loop complete. There we go. So we're gonna do that. And cool thing, you just click and it will repeat the bevel with the same amount of intensity, so that we can make sure that we get the exact same effect. There we go. So that's good. That's a nice frame. Now let's, whoa, what did I just do? I think I just did it like an X-ray thing. Where's the, was it this one? I don't remember where that option is. There we go. I'm just going to Control C. There's this option to explode the thing. I never use it, so that's why I forgot where the option actually is. So I'm going to go into Insert Edge Loop again. So Insert, and we're going to insert like an edge loop right around here and here. Let's go. There we go. Those might make the thing a little bit more square-like, but that's fine because I just want to use a Q mesh poly, single poly. So I'm going to break symmetry and just push this in, because this is eventually going to be mirrored to the other side. And now let's bevel those borders, because I definitely want to bevel those. So I'm just going to say bevel edge loop partial or poly loop. No, I want to edge loop. Oh, bevel. Oh, that's fine. We'll just sculpt it. I think that's better. Now on the character itself, he doesn't seem to have, since he doesn't have ears, he doesn't seem to have anything there. But there's like the bridge. I think this is good, so I'm actually just gonna hit Control D a couple of times. Well, before we do that though, let's do a modify topology, mirror and weld. We need to move this to the other side, so I'm gonna go into deformation, mirror to the other side, and now when we do mirror and weld, we'll have the, hey, I think it's symmetry. That's really weird. Is it because we have this local symmetry? I think so. There we go. Perfect. So that looks very good. Now I definitely want to add a little bit of movement here, so I'm gonna hit Control D 1, 2, 3 times. We don't need the poly loop anymore, the poly frame. I think it's a little bit thick, so let's make them smaller. Let's place them where they're supposed to be. And now with my move brush, I'm just gonna move this thing up to create like the little like border. Now the glasses seem to be going like completely straight, and even though that's not like the end of the day, I think I would like to bend them. And there's a deformer here, which is of course the bend deformer, which is this one right here. But I think it follows the pivot point here on the ground. So I'm actually gonna show you another one right here on the transforms. We can use the bend arc and multiple subdivisions. Okay, so let's go to subtool or geometry, delete lower, and now we can go here and hit the bend arc. What? Bend arc? Sorry, the unmasked part does not fit the currently set symmetry mode. That's weird. Does it work with the other one? Bend curve? No? Okay, that's weird. Not sure what that is. We have 5 more minutes, so we can figure it out. So let's try. It says, oh, there we go. So now it works. So we're gonna do a little bit bend to the downside. That's fun. And then on this side over here, we're gonna bend them like this. And then let's see if we have another bendy position. No. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, I just want to give this a little bit more life, you know, something like this. Now there's also the bend curve, which I really like. I am gonna increase the resolution. There we go. And then with this one, we can actually like push this, so you can see that the points there, they show you. Let's increase the resolution. They show you the axis in which it's gonna be doing the transformation. So I'm just gonna grab like this point right here with symmetry, or maybe this guy right here. That's weird. Symmetry should be working, but for some reason it's not. I mean, we can make them slightly asymmetrical. I don't think it's going to be the end of the day. But it would be cool if we could make them a little bit more symmetrical. There we go. So that's pretty much it. Now, he does have a scarf that looks pretty fancy. So let's see if we can do something like that. And I'm thinking about how we can actually do that. And I think I have an idea. So I'm gonna go into a plane. Let's see, we have 5 minutes. So let's see if my experiment works in this last 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go into a plane 3D, make this a polymesh 3D, dynamesh this. So we have like a flat surface. It should be a flat surface. And then I am gonna create like the shape of a scarf. Let's look at like a U shape right here. There we go. Something like that. I think it's gonna work. Let's say delete hidden. And I'm gonna say a geometry series mesh. Let's see if this works. Because I want to just create like the shape of the scarf so that I can just dynamic simulate it on top of the character. And say if this works. Nah, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. And the reason it's gonna be difficult, it's just too difficult for ZBrush to do this. However, we can use our knife lasso here and do something very similar. There we go. And now we can I think we can do a polygroup change points. Was it the one? Auto groups? No. Now let's use, instead of knife lasso, let's just use the slice curve, or actually the. Oh no, I know what I'm gonna do. Sorry, I'm literally freestyling over here. So I'm gonna select lasso, select this sort of thing like this, group visible, select this thing, delete hidden, and then series mesh. There we go. Now there's an option here on poly loops, I think. How are we doing on time? Oh, just 3 minutes. So there's an option in Edge Loop that we can use to, there we go, group loops. It's called group loops. And as you can see, it creates this very nice like soft border around the whole thing. And now we can go into series mesher and try to series mesh this thing. There we go. Now let's bring this to our character. We subtool, append, and we append that like weird shape that we just created. Let's move it forward, make it bigger. Oop. Like so. And we're gonna go into dynamics. Let's anchor this over here. Let's create a collision volume. And I'm gonna up my iterations and run the simulation. Okay, that's cool. Now I'm gonna use BC, and it's called cloth move, I think, or cloth slide. Cloth move. And I'm just gonna start like kind of like moving this around. Let's run the simulation a little bit more. Let's pull this out of the inner side there. And now I'm gonna mask like this side and just start pushing this to the other side like this. Invert the mask, push this guy to the front. I am gonna go into document and I'm gonna push, or sorry, into draw, and I'm gonna push my elevation down so that when I run the simulation, things fall. There we go. And now I think I'm just gonna move this forward, or move it a little bit closer to the top. Let's smooth this out a little bit. This little nice scarf. And let's try just a quick dynamic because we just ran out of time. So let's do a little bit of thickness here. And there we go. I'm just gonna poly paint like a quick color here. So color, fill object, and then go back to the whites. So we have this invisible like Superman character. And there we go, guys. 30 minutes. We did it. I think it looks good. Let's just fill this in with like a glossy material. Let's try this like reflected map. There we go. So I'm gonna say color, fill object, and then just go back to our starter material. There we go. So it kind of looks like Superman. I think this is like the color is way too. Let's go for like a darker red. There we go. Color, fill object. Oh, not that one. This one. Color, fill object, and that's it. So we go back to our original white. And this is what we have. So this was not as much a sculpture. It was a little bit more about like the tools that we have here inside of ZBrush. So hopefully you guys like this technique, this bandage technique. Of course, if you spend like more time on this, you're gonna get an even better result with the bandages. But I've seen this technique being used for like any kind of like characters, like fantasy characters, with like mummies, again, like zombies. Like whenever you want something to look like it's actually wrapping around, using this technique works very nice. I'm just gonna increase the angle right here. Let's do a fast BPR render to get soft shadows, and that's it. Remember, vote. I need you guys to vote. So just comment down here which one you like the most. Did you like the vampire? Did you like Frankenstein, the mummy, this invisible man? Yesterday, what we did yesterday, the werewolf. So you're gonna pick whatever you think was your favorite, and depending on the amount of votes that they get, I'm gonna choose that one for this weekend. On Saturday, we're gonna polish him, and then on Sunday, we're gonna present him for presentation. So thank you guys for hanging around. Thank you for all of you that see the whole video. Make sure to leave a like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll see you back tomorrow. Bye bye.